afternoon, everybody. Brand new hour here of America Live. I'm Megyn Kelly, and we start with the story of 3 Navy SEALs who put their lives on the line for this country and are now facing criminal charges. This was the city of Fallujah, 2004. 4 American contractors ambushed, murdered, and mutilated. Their bodies strung up and set on fire. The al-Qaeda operative accused of planning that ambush was captured last September. But reportedly, 3 of the Navy SEALs who brought him to justice roughed him up a bit when he was in custody. Actually, one was said to have roughed him up, and then he and 2 others were said to have lied about it. Now, this terrorist complained that they punched him in the stomach, one did, and smacked his face, leaving him with a bloody lip. And now those SEALs are facing court-martial. Congressman Dan Burton will be holding a public event in about an hour to call for these SEALs to be exonerated. Congressman Burton is my guest now, live from Capitol Hill. Congressman, good afternoon to you. You know, the people who don't agree with you say, look, they disgraced Navy SEALs. They should never have behaved in such a fashion, and they don't deserve your defense. How do you respond?
These gentlemen are heroes, in my opinion. These guys go out there and lay their lives on the line every day. Many of them get killed or maimed and have to come back and spend the rest of their lives dealing with those problems. And they went after a man who committed the crimes that you just talked about. And because they captured him, and allegedly they hit him in the stomach and maybe slapped him in the face, they're being court-martialed. What kind of a message does that send to the rest of our military personnel in the field? I mean, do they have to go out there with kid gloves when we're talking about dealing with terrorists that cut off people's heads and hanging their bodies from a bridge after torturing them? This is just insane. And so we've got about 180,000 signatures from people across the country asking that the military exonerate these men and congratulate them, in my opinion, for risking their lives and capturing this horrible al-Qaeda terrorist.
You know, it's so disgusting what this man did, this terrorist. And no one watching this program wants anything but justice for him, against him, I should say. But the controversy comes up in how these sailors conducted themselves, because the accusations are, look, yes, they got him, and kudos to them for that. But once they had him, they had no right to rough him up, and then when they were asked about whether they did, they shouldn't have lied about it. I'm not saying they did that. Those are the charges that are being brought against them. And the argument on the other side is let that play out in the military justice system and don't interfere. Your response to that?
Well, Megyn, first of all, the al-Qaeda manual that they all live by says if you're captured, make the allegation that you've been abused by the military or the CIA or whoever else captures you. And this is a common practice. So he very well could have said he was hit in the stomach and could have even self-inflicted a slap on the face and maybe bruised himself.
But let me ask you that, because Major General Cleveland, who is the guy behind this prosecution in the military system, wrote a letter to you saying that the allegations about this abuse, if you want to use that word, were initially raised by other U.S. service members. So it wasn't just the word of this guy, according to Major General Cleveland.
Well, as I understand it, Megyn, there are 3 Navy SEALs that are being accused of this, and there's one person who's accusing them. Now, I don't know what that person has seen or what they've said, but I'll tell you right now, I can't imagine a court-martial of these men for doing their duty for this country and after going through what they have to do to do their duty. It really, really bothers me, and I think the people across this country feel just as strongly as I do about it.
What is going to happen to these 3 if these courts-martials proceed and they are found guilty, the one of punching the guy and the 3 of then not being honest about it? What's going to happen to them?
Well, obviously, they're going to be somewhat disgraced. They'll probably leave the military. I doubt if any of them would get any kind of jail time. But what kind of a message does this send to our military personnel in the field? We had 4 other Navy SEALs that went on a mission in Afghanistan. 3 of them were killed. Another 16 were shot down. Navy SEALs were shot down and killed in a helicopter that came to rescue them. And it was all because they didn't kill 3 people that turned them over or were trying to turn them over to al-Qaeda. I mean, these people risk their lives every day, and they need to know we're behind them 100%. And I don't think an al-Qaeda terrorist should ever get the benefit of the doubt over an American citizen or soldier.
Let's say, for the purpose of this argument, that they did it, right? That the one guy punched him, and then all 3 of them lied about it when they were asked about it. Maybe they were concerned because they knew they weren't supposed to do it. Let's say they're guilty. Is there no room, even in the military, for some compassion, for some understanding that the adrenaline may have been flowing? They knew who this guy was. It wasn't right after they captured him, but it was pretty contemporary. It was pretty close in time. Is there no room for compassion in the military? What is Major General Cleveland telling you about that?
There could have very well been some discussion with their superior officer about it without any kind of a major penalty like they're talking about. But obviously, they deny they did that in the first place.
I know they do.
But even if they did, Megan, I certainly don't think they should be court-martialed. In fact, I said to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and you'll have to forgive me for saying this, if I'd been one of the people that captured this guy, I probably would have broken both of his legs. This guy's a terrorist, and I don't believe he should be treated with kid gloves. But anyhow, maybe I'm a little extreme, but these guys are heroes in my opinion.
Can anything be done at this point? Can a deal be cut to I don't know, a slap on the wrist, get the message out, but not disgrace these guys, take away their, dishonorable discharge they're talking about? Can anything be done at this point?
Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're going to meet today with their lawyers, with some of the Navy SEALs. In fact, Mr. McCabe, we're going to meet with him, and we're going to present to the Pentagon about 180,000 signatures, and hopefully that'll show the military that if there's some kind of action that should be taken, it certainly should be way, way short of a court-martial, and we should give our Navy SEALs and the people in the field the benefit of the doubt.
This is going to get a lot of mail, I can tell you that. Congressman Dan Burton, thanks so much for coming on.